Hello, Saginaw. Welcome back to Saginaw Spotlight. My name is Alex, and today I am thrilled to be joined by Greg LaMarr, Communications and Marketing Director at Saginaw Future, along with Grace Smith, who recently landed a job through their programs. Today we'll be exploring hiring trends and job opportunities in Saginaw, and we'll hear firsthand about Grace's journey. Let's dive in. Greg, please introduce yourself and tell us about Saginaw Future.
Excellent. Thanks for having us today. We're really excited to be here and be a part of this. Uh, I'm the communications and marketing director, like you had mentioned. I've been here almost 30 years. My wife and I live in Old Town, so we're definitely all about Saginaw. Saginaw Future is the economic development organization for the city and the county of Saginaw. We're a 501c3 nonprofit organization. We do have funding from private sector and public sector, along with 16 municipality contracts. Essentially, what we do is we try to help businesses expand here or attract new ones. We have a government contracting office that also helps companies do work with state, local, and federal governments. That's also here as well. Um, Economic development has kind of shifted, though. Traditionally, you would focus more on base job creation, which is the really good jobs that have health care and have a really high wage, which then support other jobs like in the service industry and things of that sort. As things have changed and economic development has changed with it, we're focusing now on helping our companies get talent. Uh, Talent wars are taking place across the country, even worldwide, where there's just a shortage of workers. So we're still helping businesses expand and locate here, but we're also helping them find talent. And we'll be talking more about that later today.
Awesome. Excellent. And what are the current hiring opportunities that Saginaw Future is promoting right now?
We are very beneficial to have these incredible companies that are located here. Um, we have a company called Hemlock Semiconductor, which makes the most pure man-made substance on Earth. You probably have some of their product in your phone. They make polycrystalline silicon, which goes into chip manufacturing or solar panels. That's right here in Saginaw County. The federal government is working diligently on reshoring a lot of the manufacturing. You probably heard about that. And part of which is they want to reshore the semiconductor supply chain, which is the chips. They make the raw component for that. So they're growing rapidly. There's a company also in the semiconductor supply chain just north of us in Bay County called SK Siltron, which is a chip maker, and they're growing as well. A huge investment, which is right next to Hemlock Semiconductor's Corning Corporation. They're the main owner of Hemlock Semiconductor, and they're building, it's probably going to be operational in the next few months, a 1 million square foot manufacturing facility for solar panels. The solar cells, the components that go into a solar module itself. And they're hiring up to 1,500 people. All told, just in the semiconductor, in the solar realm, there's well over 2,000 jobs available. It's incredible companies to work for. Um, just right here in our backyard, and it's Thomas Township is the home of Hemlock Semiconductor, and literally across the street, which is Richland Township, is the Corning facility. We also have some other incredible employers here. Morley Companies, they're more of professional services, but they're hiring. We have some great opportunities too out in Frankenmuth. The Bavarian Inn Lodge is now the largest indoor water park in the Midwest. They're typically hiring as well. We're a medical hub. We're pretty much the biggest medical hub north of Flint, servicing 20 some counties. My Michigan Health is always hiring. Covenant Healthcare as well. We have the VA Medical Center, which is pretty rare for a community. I think there's only 3 in the state of Michigan, and we have one here. So you're talking manufacturing, skilled trades, of course, some of those white collar jobs too, chemists, accounting, and then the medical related jobs. I mean, there's a plethora of jobs available right now.
Wow. And uh, so different from the experience of a typical job seeker who they might call an HR department and not even get a call back or any. It's very difficult they need someone like you who knows where these jobs are and who to talk to. That's pretty important to get connected with someone like you, huh?
Yeah, and then we can also point you in the right direction. We have fantastic partnerships with Great Lakes Bay Michigan Works, which they're a direct connection to jobs, and of course these companies too. Um, it has become such a need to bring in talent and upgrade skills to fill these jobs that a lot of these companies, they have specific people. It's not just a HR job anymore. They have talent specialists that are going out trying to recruit new employees, of course using social media. But I would really I would think that besides, we can point you in the right direction, but Michigan Works is a fantastic place to start for this. And then we partner with Delta and SVSU as well. So those young people that are just starting in the job market or beginning to, uh, we want them here. We want them working for our world class companies. We even have a, a great number of small to medium sized companies too that are also seeking talent. So if your direction isn't like that big corporation, and that's okay. You can work at a family-owned business here in Saginaw County that offers a little different lifestyle and a different professional environment to work on. So we have a lot of options, and it's really fortunate uh, for young people and job seekers right now because there's so many opportunities.
That's great to hear. That's really positive news there. Um, Grace, welcome to the show. Please tell us about yourself and how you connected with Saginaw Future.
Yeah, so my name's Grace. I am originally from Saginaw County. I grew up in Frankenmuth, and have since kind of stayed in the area. I went to college over in Gratiot County, and eventually came back here, got a new job, and now about 3 months ago, I started working for Saginaw Future, which is even more exciting.
Oh,
So part of the job, uh, I don't know if Greg has told you about, but the coming home events are super interesting for young folks like myself when I was looking for my initial job in Saginaw County, where it helped connect me and others that I knew to more job opportunities, specifically aimed at young professionals. So I don't know if Greg, you want to talk a little bit more about that?
Oh, for sure. We work as a region for business attraction and talent attraction and retention. So we're part of an 8 county region. It's Aranac, Bay, Clare, Gladwin, Gratiot, Midland, and Saginaw. We call ourselves Great Lakes Bay Region 5. There's 10 regions in the state of Michigan. So for years, we worked together for business attraction, trying to recruit companies because, businesses, I mean, they don't have any problem crossing political boundaries to hire folks, or they just want great people, and they'll take folks from Midland County, Bay County, and have them drive into Saginaw County and go to work. So there's no barriers to employers with the political boundaries. So we all work together for business attraction, and then that kind of transitioned into the talent attraction and retention over the past 6 years because our businesses needed help. We have, the aforementioned, great partners like Michigan Works and our educational institutions, but we really needed to take another step to try to bring people here, or more easily, it's easier to keep people here. So we have two what we call coming home events, and there'll be two in October. One essentially in Mount Pleasant, the other here in Saginaw. Um, Typically, it's at Pierce Road Bar and Grill, which is adjacent to Saginaw Valley State University. We have a hiring mixer. We recruit 30 or so businesses from our part of the region, and they have stand-up tables, and it's more of a relaxed setting for potential job seekers to mix and mingle, have a snack, have a beverage, and get to know some of these job seekers. The cool thing about it is that typically they have very specific jobs that they're looking to fill at this event. They might not have 20 people lined up with their resume waiting patiently in a line, but they might have three really good candidates that they get to know a little bit more because it's a social setting, and they're able to fill these difficult to some of these jobs are difficult to fill. The skill set, the competition for jobs. So it's more about the quality of job candidate our event as opposed to the quantity.
Uh, do you think that the schools locally are meeting the challenge of uh, the skill set that's needed for the jobs that we're talking about?
I think we're pretty lucky. We have the Saginaw ISD is fantastic for preparing young people, typically for skilled trades. And there's a different mindset. 20 years ago, uh, folks were pushing their kids, oh, you have to get that college degree, that 4-year degree, or you're not going to be successful as we hoped. But our skilled trades, they're great paying jobs. You have a lot of flexibility because everybody's looking for welders, everybody's looking for pipe fitters. So you can go out there and shop yourself. So our local schools are meeting that challenge. Delta College has a great 2-year program for different skilled trades and even some manufacturing type jobs. Our employers, they get it. They understand that they need to continuously upskill their employees. So oftentimes they partner with Michigan Works, and they receive grants that help pay for the employees' training. A lot of times it can be on the job training, or there's different programs like Delta Fast Start program that say Corning needs 150 specific production workers. They'll set up specialized training at Delta College where candidates can come right out of college and get that job that they've been seeking, and great paying jobs, great benefits, and things of that sort. And another thing that's really cool um, is that we all work together. There is a little competition, of course, with the different educational institutions, but typically we all work together. We meet often. We trade ideas, and we're looking forward to the two coming home events in October.
Excellent, excellent. That sounds like a great event. Um, Grace, will you be attending the coming home event?
So I'm not sure. I know we're just in the planning stages of that.
Oh,
But if for young people, and this has helped me a lot, for young people, especially young professionals or anyone with some sort of training or specialized certificates or something like that, if they just network, so I know that's a very broad word and it means a ton of things, but some of the things like the Chamber of Commerce breakfast. I met one of my previous employers through a breakfast specifically focused at agricultural companies. And eventually I built on that relationship, and it ended me up eventually here, which I could not be more grateful for. But yeah, I think that's one avenue to do it. Um, because it's really not so much about just submitting your application everywhere. It's more of fostering more connections and more relationships. So the Chamber of Commerce has been great. These coming home events have been great. And I think because and I always talk great about Saginaw, I'm from here, my family all lives here. But there's a really unique, close-knit community across all of Saginaw County, but also in some like very tight-knit communities. Like I'm from Frankenmuth. I have a lot of family from Saginaw Township, very tight-knit communities. And if you get in and you start making those connections, it's only going to help you more.
Good, good. Um, Tell us about your job search. What was that like, and how did you tell us all about your job search?
So I have searched for jobs in some of I don't want to say the toughest times, but right after COVID, I graduated college right after COVID. Job market wasn't great. So I went back to Frankenmuth and uh, I had two different jobs just trying to make, some extra money, and eventually got an internship. So through there, my internship, I started networking a lot, going to um, these different breakfasts, different conferences, stuff like that, all generally low cost, um, but large. And they were outside of Saginaw County, inside of Saginaw County. It really just depended on it. But really just trying to put myself out there to, make further connections and get a better job eventually. And so then I eventually got another job based in Frankenmuth, actually, and started moving in the area. And from there, and now, I mean, it's tough right now too, but like I said, I think the networking and the connections and trying to get into your communities that you want to have a job in is probably the most important. I mean, you can use your educational connections. I used mine when I was first out of college. But yeah, I think that's probably the biggest thing you can do to help search and find a job because
Yeah,
eventually that led me to this one.
good,
And
good.
we're
I'm
happy
glad.
to have her.
Great. There's nothing better than when the boss and the worker are happy with their position. That's great. So you did touch on the concept of internships, which I think a lot of job seekers who may have lack of skills, they would love to hear more about internships. So, is that something that's happening a lot in Saginaw?
Yeah, so actually, I mean, Greg can talk on this too. Mine's a little bit more personal experience, right? But I'm seeing, at least in my family and people I'm around, more and more people are finding that if you have a one or two interesting internships, and most internships now are paid, I've seen very few that are unpaid now. There are a lot of them are hard work. Like I ran the internship program at one of my previous employers, and what we looked for during that was students that, and they were college students at the time because it was a little bit more specialized. But I've seen more people go from, I have a cousin that's doing an accounting internship
Huh?
in Saginaw County, but she's also going to be a senior in high school. So
Oh,
I think it's starting a lot younger. I think more people are trying to find their interest earlier so they can kind of navigate that a little bit easier. But they're just looking for hardworking people that they might not have all the skills, but most of the time they'll teach you it on the job, generally.
yeah, good. Some employers have the time to teach, and other employers, they just don't have the time. They expect you to learn. But I liked what Greg said about the local college. I think it was Delta, simply teaching the skills in a short course that the employer needs, right? That's a big advantage because um, sometimes you look at the job ads and you're like, I have no clue what this job does or anything, but that type of a Delta program would come in handy, right?
Oh yeah. Another thing too about the internships, um, it's a great segue into a position. So you not only are you learning that skill set, but you get to learn about the company. Grace and I and the president of our organization, Tom Miller Jr., we recently met with a large regional engineering firm here, headquartered in Saginaw, and they have over 40 interns, and they have a great retention rate where those young folks, they get their foot in the door, they get to be around the company culture, and they want to stay. So it's been really good to adding to their workforce. So that's a proven success is the good solid internship program. And the state of Michigan, through the Michigan Economic Development Corporation, also offers grants for companies that helps pay for internships. So that's another positive for the company as well.
Yeah, that's a big positive for the company, right? A
Hmm.
financial incentive to hire interns. That's
Hmm.
great. Okay, before we continue, I'd like to thank our sponsor, Iva Road Dog Sitting. If you're looking for a safe, fun place for your friendly dog, Iva Road Dog Sitting serves the entire Saginaw area. They have a big fenced yard, a cozy home environment, and all dogs get free daily walks. Dogs love it there. Mention this podcast and get 2 free days of dog sitting. That's a $70 value. Text Iva Road Dog Sitting at 989-954-7210. And we are back with Greg LaMarr and Grace Smith from Saginaw Future. So I think we touched on some of the broader hiring trends that are emerging in Saginaw. There are specific skills and resumes that employers are really actively looking for. What candidate profiles are in demand right now?
Oh, that's a good question. Of course, we have a long history of manufacturing here in Saginaw County and the region. A lot of that was built through the automotive industry. And that's still the case. Automotive, we still have some fantastic automotive companies here, such as Nexteer. But then there's that trend more towards the semiconductor and solar industries as well. So those are taking off. But we also have a great number of these small to medium-sized manufacturers that have diversified their customer base. Like back in the old days, they probably would have focused 90, 100% on supplying the automotive industry. As the economy's changed, they've also changed with it as well, kind of like our economic development stance that we've taken. So they diversified their customer base to include aeronautics, um, even large scale um, manufacturing equipment, like testing equipment. A lot of that stuff gets done here as well. Um, so they've kind of they have diversified their customer base, and that's really done well for them. Also, including the government contracting that I just mentioned before. We have the largest, one of the largest producers of aerospace ball screws is located here in Saginaw, called Umbra Group. A fantastic company called Fullerton Tool that makes um, carbide cutting tools for cutting metal. That's made here. Another great company that's booming is Saginaw Control and Engineering. They make electrical boxes, from small boxes to huge, almost closet-sized boxes to house electrical components. So you see those, they're just booming because everything's electrical now and everything's high tech. You need to store those components in something, and they have multiple locations here in Saginaw. So a lot of it still is that manufacturing, but it's advanced manufacturing. Um, Sometimes you can come right out of high school and receive some training on the job training and work your way up. But for the most part, you're going to have a little bit more advanced skills to run those CNC machines, those cutting machines. Those high tech devices require a little bit more education. But as our uh, population becomes more and more high tech, it's an easier transition for young people.
Yes, yes, absolutely. How does access to childcare affect the job search? That's it.
Well, we've talked about some non-traditional economic development. Um, we are looking at healthcare, or I'm sorry, childcare, and we're looking at ways to assist them. It requires tools, and that's usually provided by the state of Michigan. Then we get to understand those tools, then apply them. Um, I know that there's numerous employers here that their employees need affordable childcare for them to justify going to work every day because it's so expensive. Um, the state of Michigan, our regional partners as well, we're working on some of those options on how to alleviate some of that stress. Either it's subsidizing childcare or for the individual family, or potentially subsidizing the employer so they can provide a little bit better wage for the childcare employee, things of that sort. Lots in the works. It's a little muddy right now. The waters are a little unclear, but people are working towards it, and there's a lot of concern, which prompts a lot of action locally and statewide and really across the nation.
Absolutely. That's an important. I'm glad that people are doing something to improve that. Great. Um, do you recommend listeners who are searching for work, should they go to Michigan Works first or come to you?
I would say they should go to Michigan Works first.
Yeah.
We also have there's a site called Discover Great Lakes Bay, which has information about our coming home hiring events and specific employers that will be attending those events. I would suggest looking at that as well. And you had mentioned too, a lot of times you look at some of these jobs, these open positions, it's like, what is that? What would I be doing? I would suggest, try to take advantage if you have access to it with technology. Learn a little bit about the companies, learn a little bit about the different positions that are open, and try to match that up to what you're interested in. I mean, it's very easy to jump at something just because it's high paying or potentially high paying job as you know move up the ranks. But it's also good to have a good solid interest in what you're doing, what kind of product you're making, how does my employer give back to the community, things of that sort. So maybe do some research too on specific companies that might be a good fit.
Yeah. Yes, I agree. Yes. Are there any upcoming job fairs or hiring events that you'd like to share with the listeners?
I would check Delta College.
Yeah.
They're online. Maybe we could post some links too at once the podcast is ready to be posted too. They have multiple job fairs. Saginaw Valley State University does as well. If you're going into the more western portion of the region, Central Michigan University too. It's a great resource, and Mid Michigan College as well. Um, Check those resources, contact the folks at Michigan Works, and look at Discover Great Lakes Bay, and I think we can help accommodate them.
Great. That's great. Awesome. Okay. And so the best way to contact you is through discovergracelakebay.com
Or SaginawFuture.com.
or saginawfuture.com.
It would
Excellent.
be great. Would be great too if folks are interested in follow us on social as well. We're on X, we're on Facebook, we're on LinkedIn, Instagram. we post a lot about different job opportunities and new expansions and attractions for that are coming to the area. We also post just fun and interesting things that are taking place around here, like uh, the, the murals on the silos in Old Town, which is the second largest mural in the United States. Um,
Okay.
Interesting facts: we have one of the largest
Yeah.
windmill parks in the United States, or no, that's in the state of Michigan. So we have one of the biggest wind parks in the state of Michigan. A lot of interesting things taking place right here in Saginaw County that a lot of people don't, they're just not aware of it.
The windmills are an employer too, huh?
They are for sure. Now the main thing is the solar arrays where it's solar
Yeah.
panels. So
But we shouldn't cross out. We shouldn't not look at wind too. Wind is still profitable, right?
oh, for sure. Oh, yeah.
But yeah, solar is picking up. Yeah, big time. Okay. You've given us so much information. And listeners, if you want to reach out to Saginaw Future, just find them at saginawfuture.com. And I want to thank Grace and Greg so sharing your story and helping us understand the changing landscape of the job market in Saginaw. It has changed. I uh, remember what you said that it used to be considered a manufacturing hub, Saginaw, but the auto industry it's it's kind of lost a lot of the footing, and now there's solar's coming in, other industries are coming in, and so we have to be aware of the changes in the job market. But thank you both for sharing with us. And uh, listeners, if you enjoyed this episode, please like, subscribe, and share it with your friends. And as always, Saginaw, keep shining.